Okay, we're going to get started. Welcome to IEPPV's fourth image comp, September 18th, 2024. I want to first welcome all the IEPPV members. Thank you for coming tonight. And I want to remind our members that we have a Death Valley excursion coming up in October. It'll be October 17th through the 21st. We have a great photographer coming out to uh, give us some instruction. It'll be Dwayne Murphy. He'll do an outstanding job, and 3 days of a lot of fun out in Death Valley. So I hope everyone can get out there and join us. It'll be a good time. And let me see, I want to introduce our judges. We have three outstanding judges with us tonight. Our first judge is Nick Seth Smith. Nick, could you please give us a quick introduction of yourself and tell us a little bit about your experience as a photographer?
Hi, my name's Nick, and I'm a photographer. No, I think I can say a bit more than that. I'm a IEPPV member of long-standing, a past president. I don't compete at the moment, which is why Brad dragged me in to come and judge for you guys. I'm a PPA master, PPC master, CPP, and I'm a full-time photographer. I do people, so family portraits and weddings, also corporate events, headshots, and products with a specialty in food.
Thank you, Nick.
That it?
Yep, perfect. Thank you. Our second judge tonight is Jessica Viala. Did I say it right, Jessica?
Nope. Valia. So
Valia.
close.
I'm so sorry. All right.
No, it's every single person on the planet. It could be part of my intro
Yes.
of say it however you want to say it. So that's my husband's fault, though. My maiden name is York, so it was so easy. And then I got stuck with this. I am a portrait photographer. I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I specialize in fine art, family, and senior portraits. I do a lot of work with musicians' portraits, which I realize is a far stretch from families, but my son is 21 and he's a very talented cellist, and that's where that started a couple years, well, by a couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago. So musicians are my muses. I love working with musicians. If I could make that a full-time thing, I would absolutely do that today.
Very nice. And our third judge, thank you, Jessica. Our third judge is John Powers. John?
Hi, let's see. I'm president of PPLAC, president-elect of ASP, have my master's from PPA and master's from PPC, and photographic craftsman. I'm a travel photographer. My specialty is Southeast Asia, all through Southeast Asia. So that's my forte.
Very nice. Thank you, John. And with the introductions, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Kim Shapiro, who will begin the competition. Thank you, Kim. Did we lose her?
She's muted.
She'll be here soon, I'm sure.
There we go. Sorry, I unmuted myself for a minute. Okay, everybody should be watching on printcompetition.com. We are also recording this on a Zoom meeting, and we will post it on our website. Usually takes about a week or so for us to get it done and posted. And if you're watching live, you can watch it again. You can watch it through Zoom, or you can actually watch it through printcompetition.com.
All right, I'm just checking the chat to make sure we don't have any technical difficulties. I'm sorry to interrupt, Kim. So we're good.
Okay, no problem. We have 37 images tonight. We have 18 in our master division and 19 in our regular division, so pretty evenly split. And
1 second here.
okay, let me get back to my screen. Okay, so our first image, we will be in the master division in the illustrative category. And our first image of the night is, so you think you're a maverick. So now you think you're a maverick. Score is 85. Jessica, if you could please comment for us.
Yeah, I thought this was incredible. I was right at 85. I actually just watched an air show here in Colorado Springs, and the lines on this are so incredibly straight, and they got it right when the aircrafts were split right in half. I honestly don't know how in the world they did this, because I was actually attempting to take some of these while I was watching the air show. This is incredible. I love this. I think that the lines from I don't want to say that it's jet fuel, but the smoke that's coming out the back, it's probably not actually smoke, but that adds to it. It just draws your eye in. And then the top aircraft, you come right back around to the other side. I think this is wonderful.
Thank you. Continuing still in the Master Division, in the illustrative category, we have Magic Forest. Magic Forest. Score is 82. John, if you could please comment.
Yes, I scored this in 85. Absolutely love this image. The maker on here kind of used the forest as a painting palette, which is such a creative idea. I love what they did to make this happen, taking the image and just being so creative with the colors and just painting up, well, whatever way they did it, just covering this entire thing with the colors like this. Very imaginative, certainly an illustrative piece of work, and definitely worthy of a merit. So again, a score of 85 on my part.
Thank you. Still in the
Yeah.
Master Division.
Kim, sorry, can I throw in a comment?
Okay, go ahead, Nick.
I was at 80 on this. I was very nearly out of the mirrors. I agree with John. I think it's a beautiful piece, but I think that if the maker's going to take it further, which I think they should, they should pay attention to a couple of things which may have been artistic choices, but I think will be competition challenges. In particular, there's a bright green patch right in the top, upper right-hand corner that stands out and grabs your eye. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And it may be intentional. And I think as an art piece, it might make sense. But as a competition image, I think that would be a challenge because other makers will assume that it's a mistake. So I wanted to just share that as a thought. I do think it's a very interesting piece. I think it's challenging as a competition piece, but it's definitely a beautiful wall art.
Thank you. Continuing in our Master Division, we have the Nature category, and our first image in the Nature category is Overachiever. Overachiever. Score is 79. Nick, if you can please comment.
Sure, I'm at 79, and you may have heard me chuckling. I love the title. I think that the story is great. The fact that he's got 2 nuts in his beak is, and obviously it looks like he's got a bunch more stuff down into his gullet. So good for him. I think the composition's nice. It would have been nice to keep the tip of the tail in and not have that cropped, but that may or may not have been an option. But the back of his head looks to be a teeny bit soft to me. I also like the fact that it's slightly off-centered. So I think it's a great image, and maybe a little bit of sharpening, and you could probably pull it in. I do think it's a nice image. I don't think it's a really strong, world-class image, but definitely very well made. And as I say, the title is excellent. But definitely sharpen it up, and it would be a merit image.
Thank you. Continuing along in the Master Division Nature category, we have Ripples. Ripples. Score is 82. Jessica.
Yeah, I would love to get this one. I love how soft the water is in this, but the leaf is still very, very sharp. And the color palette here is just beautiful. I love all these soft greens. We have a darker area at the bottom, which is keeping it nice and grounded. I think for me that the only reason I didn't go a little bit higher on this one was the crop. I think if it wasn't so close to the center, that I might have actually gone a little bit higher. I'd probably personally have weighted it a little bit more towards the bottom or had a little bit more room at the top, if that makes sense there.
Thank you. Continuing in the Master Division Nature category, we have who are you? Who are you? And the score is an 82. John.
I like this. This is an adorable image here. I love the composition on it. I love how it descends down to the right like that. It's cropped a little tight, but I am enjoying it because I love the bokeh behind it, which is so soft and wonderful in contrast to the image itself. The image tends to be a little on the light side there. I was trying to look at the eyes. I was it could be a tad sharper in the eyes, but that's hard to do with that beak protruding like that. But I think they came really close, and that's why I gave it an 83. Certainly worthy of a merit and an absolutely lovely piece.
Thank you for that. Still in the Master Division Nature category, our last image is the better to see you with. The better to see you with. Score is 86. Nick.
I'm at 85, and I think this is stunning, and I might possibly have underscored it. It's tack sharp, the expression of the look and the placement, the composition are all fabulous. I really like the use of negative space at the top with just enough detail to keep interest, but not enough to be in any way distracting. So I really think this is an amazing image. I don't know what I would do to improve it. Maybe there's a couple little details in the water that might take out, but they're so small as to not be worth talking about. But I think it's amazing. Once again, 85.
Thank you. We are now moving into the Master Division. Come on, gotta get the right screen. Photographic Artist category. In the Photographic Artist category, the makers can have a before and after or small pictures of the components used to make the image. It's not required, but it is something that they can do if they would like. The first image in the Master Division Photographic Artist is Electric Cat. Electric Cat. Score is 79. Jessica.
Yeah, I love actually. I was sitting at 78 and I think this could come up for sure. I love the technique that was used here. I think what's holding me back is the image on the right side of the eye of the tiger looks so much darker. If I back up just a tiny bit, it looks like a dark hole almost on that right eye and then all the way down through his cheek and then all the way to the edge of that fur there. And I realized that that might actually be a little bit darker on that side, but it stands out so much that it makes it look to me like it's almost a hole, like a black hole, that my attention is so focused there that I couldn't come up. And then this other spot directly underneath it, all the way down towards the bottom of the fur, the painting technique did not quite look as consistent. There's like it goes from yellow to green and then to kind of an orange tone. And then that spot right there was also holding me back. The overall technique is fabulous. I love this. I think those two little fixes of maybe lightening up underneath this eye right here so it's not so dark, and then this little bit of an inconsistent spot just right down at the image right of the fur.
Thank you. Continuing in the Master Division, Photographic Artist category, we have Condo Warrior. Condo Warrior. Score is an 83. John, if you could please comment.
Yes, I scored this an 88, and I'd like to challenge. I think this, for me, it certainly deserves to be in the excellent category. I would love to hear what my colleagues have to say, because I just think this is such a stunning image that portrays a lot of emotion and technical excellence.
Okay, so you as the challenger can make your point as to if there's more you want to add to that as to why it should be
Oh, well, I was going to wait till I
higher
rebut.
category, and
but-
then the other judges will put their comments in, and
Okay.
then we'll rescore.
Okay, I was going to wait till I rebut it, but I can do that as well.
Okay.
Again, I think this is technically superb. Just having the warrior standing there like that is a great image. But by putting the lion softly in the background like that, just catapults it to a whole different division. And it's excellently done. Technically, it's a sound image. It's composed. I love the composition where you have the 1/3 rule applying to the warrior, and that's so well balanced with the lion on the right, just faded in there and over his left shoulder like that. Just a beautiful, and the story behind it is just so impactful. Love the story.
Hey, Nick, any comments?
Oh, I'm the bad guy. I was at 78, and I like the image. I think it's it's a nice composition. I'm not sure what the lion does for it for me personally. It seemed like it was sort of kind of an afterthought. But this is photographic artists, so we're really judging the skill and difficulty and complexity. And with the modern cutout tools, this is not a particularly complex image to put together. Where I have an issue with it and what held me back is in the shadows on the feed. Now, in the photograph, there are basically no shadows. It looks like the floor was very overlit so that there are no shadows. So the maker had to create them. And the shadows are just not convincing of coming from the light source that lit the subject. You've got this circle of shadow around the bottom of the staff, or whatever you call it, that no light could have cast. And then the shadows on his feet, again, are just not consistent. So with a story of this, if you're going to put someone on a surface, you have to have the contact shadow and the rest of the shadows being 100% convincing. A little bit of work, and it could achieve that. But until then, to me, as I say, it looked too much like he was planted there. But I as an image, I think I enjoy it. as a piece of photographic artistry work for competition, I think it needs some work, and I think there's opportunity to improve.
Jessica?
It's been said, definitely the shadows were what was holding it back for me. I was sitting at 82. I think it was 82. And I tend to agree that I love the subject. I'm not sure that the line adds a lot for me. The one thing about the line that hasn't been said that I would say is if you're going to go to this much work, I would love to see some catch lights in the eyes just a tiny bit. That was one of the things that was holding me back as well.
John,
Okay,
any rebuttal?
sure. One of the things I was looking at the beginning too was the shadows on the feet. I was comfortable with the way that the maker indeed put the shadowing there on that and the staff. I saw the light coming from above primarily, so for it to be the light direction coming almost directly down, I had no problem with the way the shadowing was. I felt it was planted nicely there, so I certainly thought that that was well done. As far as the catch lights go, the images were too far back for me to even see if there were catch lights or not. It's an interesting point. But and as far as degree of difficulty with artistic work, degree of difficulty does play a part in it, but not necessarily a significant part. I love this image. I respect my colleagues' comments. I still think it belongs in the excellent category, and I'll lower my score from an 88 to an 85.
Okay, judges, if you could rescore, please.
Come on. Oh,
It doesn't let, I don't know if anybody else is
Okay.
having.
it's saying
I'll put it-
scorekeeper was not ready.
Yeah.
Okay, try again.
There we go.
Got it.
The new score is now an 82. Still in the Master Division Photographic Artist category, we have Little White Shirt. Little White Shirt.
Hmm.
Scores. Now.
I'm going to ask any people viewing the video or the competition to mute themselves other than the judges.
Score is 80. Nick.
I'm at 81, and I really like this image. At an emotional level, I think it's fabulous. I really think the story is good. It's a very interesting perspective and a very unusual one. As a competition image, it's an interesting and challenging one to judge. I commend the maker for not softening the skin to the point of losing detail. I think that is difficult and has been very well done. I think the lighting is interesting. The color palette shows the fact that it was lit from above and it's underwater, so you've got a little bit of blue hinting creeping in, but that's actually okay. So it tells a story. The one thing that again causes me to struggle, and it's not wrong, it's just confusing, and that is that with the way the ripples are, it looks as if the surface of the water isn't flat. And instinctively, you know it is, but and so I don't know whether you should straighten it or not. I don't have a good view. Anyway, I was at 81. I think I commend the maker for a really interesting image. And for giving me a really hard problem to try and judge it.
Continuing still in the Master Division Photographic Artist category, we have Calgary Skyline. Calgary Skyline. Score is 81. John, if you could comment.
Yeah, I scored this a 78, and I certainly thought it was above average. I love the way that the maker cropped this and brought out the details of the importance in the skyline very nicely. Well done to the maker on that. The texture that was applied, I find distracting. I'm not sure if that's what they were wanting so much. It was just to me distracting. I know that it looks like the maker is trying to bring in some color and bring those buildings alive, and I appreciate that vibrancy there, but the saturation was just off a little too much for me. And with the skyline back there, with all the pixelated, I call it pixelated for lack of a better word, of the skyline there, I don't think it works for me, so that's why I scored it a 78. But enjoy what they were trying to do. I really do.
Okay. Our last image in the Master Division Photographic Artist category is called Come With Me. Come With Me. Score is 80. Jessica.
Yeah, I love the perspective of this one. I actually love that the hand is so much bigger, and the lens choice here was very intentional, it feels like to me. I was sitting right at an 80. I also love that she seems to be going towards that negative space. It's not a lot of negative space, but it feels like it's just enough for her to be going up towards that. You can see the bubbles that are coming up out of her mouth. And I think the only thing really that truly bothers me is the tiny tip of the head cut off, which one could argue either way. In this case, to me, it feels like just not quite enough was cut off, and it feels like it's just a little bit too little. Like if they had come down a little bit or included the very tip of the head for me, it would have been a little bit more appealing right there on that line.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to be a pain and challenge this down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to challenge it down not because it's not a good image. I think it's a great image and I think it has enormous potential. But I think the thing that holds it back for me is not the big bubbles coming out of there. And I totally agree with Jessica's comments. I was at 79, by the way. It's the little bubbles that the maker could easily have photoshopped out, which would make it a much cleaner image and get rid of the distractions from what is really a beautiful image with a wonderful story. And I think this has the potential to be up in the excellent or better category if you remove those and just clean up some of the little details to take away the distractions from a beautiful woman leading you on in a wonderful underwater swim.
John, any comments?
I, I like the extra bubbles in there. I'm trying to envision this without those extra bubbles, and all you got is 4 bubbles coming right out of her nose, which looks in itself kind of silly. But by having those other bubbles there, it validates all the bubbles all around and the ones that are up in front that are predominant. It gives it a touch of realism there. So I like those little bubbles in there. I scored this an 80. I thought it was worthy of a merit, and I would keep my scores accordingly.
Jessica, any comments?
I don't think so. I tend to agree with John on most of the bubbles. I think that I agree with Nick on these bubbles that are in the negative space, right? The little tiny ones that kind of
Yep.
flow over into the negative space. I like the tiny bubbles on the top left corner. But I think and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's these bubbles that are distracting in this negative space. And so I could absolutely see removing those.
Okay, any rebuttal, Nick?
Yeah, so in rebuttal, I should have been more clear about which ones. Jessica's right. It's the ones in the negative space, but also the tiny little sort of pinpricks of light around her neck, just in front of her neck and so on, which are too small to be visible as bubbles, big enough to be annoying in the image. And I agree with John that the ones above and to the left of her are part of the story, and that makes perfect sense. And even a couple of the ones up on the surface in front. but and the ones on the side of her face beside her ear are good. But when you get down to the neck and just into the hairline, just in front of the hairline, those teeny little, which almost look like bright pixels, those are the ones that I think should be taken out. It's a trivial job to do it, and it would add so much more weight to the image because it would then lend credibility to the bubble to the left. Like I said, I'd love to see the maker do a little bit more work to it, because I think this image is really has enormous potential. I think it's gorgeous. We get to rescore.
So Nick, you're going to stay with your 79.
I'm going to stay with my 79, yes. So I was wondering, I went silent. I was wondering if I'd lost my audio or something.
Yeah, Kim's in Florida, so she may be having.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Just give her a
Okay.
second, and I'm sure she'll come back.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay,
Thank you.
yeah, you should be able to rescore now. Sorry
Oh,
about
cool.
that.
Thank you.
And the new score is a 79.
So maker, please don't hate me. Please fix this and turn it into the amazing image that it has the potential to be.
Okay, continuing, we are still in the master division. We are now going into the photojournalism category. The first image in master division photojournalism is local farmer. Local farmer. Score is 84. Jessica.
Oh, I was really high on this one. I was at an 88. The story in this one to me is absolutely incredible. So we do have layers of bright, like the subject's body seems bright enough that it's very well lit. And then we do have a shadowy area. He was definitely in some open shade. And then we have another layer of more bright sun in the background. But then in that bright area in the background, we have his animals, right? Like I think it's a boar. I want to say that that's what it is. I always say the wrong animal. And then we have this incredible sky still in the background. And there's just so many layers of depth to this image. I just absolutely love this one and felt like it needed to be in the excellent category.
Thank you. Continuing still in the photojournalism category of the master division, we have poor but happy. Poor but happy. Score is 79. Nick.
I'm the bad guy at 77, and I'm wondering whether it's a photographic anomaly or post, but I'm sure this is infrared, just looking at the plants and so on. But there's something very bizarre going on the guy on the camera left on his arm, and to a lesser extent on the surrounding of the guy in the middle and then the last guy in between his arm and his body. I'm not quite sure what it's doing. If it were a cutout, I would assume it was just badly cut out, but I don't think it is. So there's something funky going on there. I know it's photojournalism. I know you don't have the option to fix it, but I'm not sure that because of that. It almost looks like the background has been artificially softened. It's hard to tell. But there's something funky going on there. As I say, it really threw me off. And unfortunately, once you've seen it, it's really hard to unsee. I love the image. I love the concept. It's interesting, the slightly camp position of the guy on the right, camera left, which I wouldn't have expected amongst these guys, but takes all.
Okay. Still in the photojournalism category, yes. In the master division, we have the chief. The chief. Score is 82. John.
I enjoyed this photo very much. I always enjoyed portraits like this, a very unique image here. I love the sharpness around the eyes, which is so important. I love the contrast that is going on with the lights on the body and the face compared to the background. What I was having a little confusion with to the maker is the background itself. The markings that you have in that background there, I don't know if they're man-made or what. It doesn't matter because it's photojournalism, but I found it a little confusing back there. Found it a little bit distracting. And so it kind of kept me back from going a little higher because I'm just not quite sure what that texture is that's happening back there for photojournalism like this. I'm not questioning they're doing anything to it. I just confused in what that is. And so I get distracted by it. But I absolutely love the portrait itself, and it certainly was worthy of a merit, and that's why I scored it an 82.
Thank you. And our final image in the Master Division photojournalism category is Ready for Action. Ready for Action. Score is 85. Nick.
I'm at 84, and I love this image. I think the lighting's beautiful, the composition is great. It's photojournalism, so you don't have absolute control. If you could argue a nit, then I would have taken it a moment before or a moment later, just so that what I think is a woman in the background wasn't intersecting the bow string, but that's such a small detail. But no, I think the combination's great. I particularly like actually the leaf that's hanging above the warrior. That's almost like a sword of Damocles, giving him yet another reason to be ready to get out of there.
Okay, continuing in the Master Division, we now have our portrait category. The first image in our Master Division portrait category is Annette. Annette. And the score is an 82. Jessica.
Yeah, this is a lovely image. I absolutely am mesmerized by the color palette that we have. It could be that this is a very common color palette that I use in my own work, but I love that we've got this gold color that's just draping our subject, and then we also have all of these deep red tones, not only in our background but in the makeup that the photographer or the makeup artist chose. It complements her skin tone very, very well. And I absolutely love that it's a very full profile and that we're not seeing any little peek of the eye on the other side.
Can I add
Thank
one
you.
thing real quick?
Sure.
That
Go ahead,
stroke
John.
line's a little heavy there. I love the color, but the stroke line's just a little heavy for the maker to reconsider.
Thank you. Still in the Master Division portrait category, we have angst. Angst.
Mm.
Score is 87.
Challenge.
John.
Okay, I'm challenging in this. I put this at a score of 90. I felt this belonged in the superior category. First thing that comes out, you look at the 12 elements and impact just goes, wow. This is just so powerful. I love the vignetting that is on there. Usually people go with a dark vignette. This goes to the exact opposite. And I think it is excellently done the way it is just cloaked around him like this. The story is through the roof with a powerful impact, a great story, and very unique application here. It's just a superior image that just stands by itself so well. Again, I scored this a 90. I believe it belongs in the superior category.
Nick, your comments?
I was at 83 and I may be a little low on this. I do like the story. I would much sooner see this be much more contrasty. I think the soft contrast kind of is almost in antithesis to this very powerful character. And I mean, it's very subtle, but it just to my mind it removes a lot of the impact. I'd much sooner see much deeper blacks, a little bit of more light in the highlights, and really have some impact with the lighting and the color palette or the tonal palette as opposed to just the expression. I think that it almost detracts from what could have been a really powerful image. But that's some of that's taste. As I say, just for me, it lacked the impact that I think it could have had. Personally, technically, it's obviously well executed. I agree with John that the light vignette is an interesting and it's a good choice for this image. And similar to the last image, I think the stroke is a bit heavy.
Jessica, your comments?
Yeah, I was at 89, and I also agree with all of the really good comments. It has a ton of impact. I actually very much like the not so contrasty look personally. Again, that could be taste. What actually is holding me back, we have this light vignette, but right around this hand that's in the very front, around the two fingers on the right hand side, and then again right behind his neck, there's a dark area in the background that doesn't quite blend as well as it should. So we have it going from dark to this light vignette, and right in these two spots, there's some pretty clear areas to be that could have been blended significantly better. But that is the only thing that's holding me back. I love the story on this, and I think it's extremely impactful.
Okay, judges, if you could, oh, actually,
Yeah.
John, you get a rebuttal.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm having a little difficulty, Jessica, seeing what you were talking about there with the not working there. So I'm just going to have to let that go, unfortunately. I think it's the artistic's choice, the artist's choice there to go with that soft look instead of the deep contrast. Quite frankly, if you did it any stronger with that deep contrast, I think you would lose the definition in the beard as it makes its way up to the ear. Like it's already very dark on the face, and any darker, you begin to lose detail. I think it's artist's choice. I think they chose well to go with this light softness here because it keeps all the detail in the picture. A powerful image, tells a great story, well vignetted, very creative. It's certainly thinking outside the box, and I think it should be rewarded with its score of superior, and I'm going to stick with my score of 90.
Okay, judges, if you could rescore, please. The new score is 88. Thank you, judges. That was a good challenge. Our final category in the Master Division and the final category in the Master Division portrait category is defeated. Defeated. And the score is 84. Nick.
I'm at 84 on this, and I love this image. I think that it's an amazing piece of storytelling. Lighting is beautiful. The background and the lighting on the background is gorgeous. The only thing that's distracting, and to be honest, it's an honest part of the image, is the gloves are so bright, but they would be. So it's kind of hard to burn those down and get more impact onto the face. But I think that, as I say, the tonal palette is beautiful. I still find this stroke a little bit heavy, and I'd like to see it a little bit lighter and maybe a black rather than a sort of slightly off black border. But I'm not going to adjust my score because of that. But I do think it's very, very well done. And as I say, it really tells a story. The emotions in there are just amazing.
Thank you. Okay, judges, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 images for review. Actually, I take that back. Wait, 1, 2, yeah, 3, 4. We do have 4 images for review. The images for review are all in the Master Division. The first image for review, again, this is an image that received a 78 or a 79. If you would like it to remain the same, please score it as a 79. If you would like it to move up, please score it an 80. The first one is in the Master Division Nature category, overachiever with an original score of 79. It remains the same. Our second image is Master Division Photographic Artist category with Electric Cat, an original score of 79. It remains the same. We have in the Master Division Photographic Artist category, Come With Me, an original score of 79. And our final image for review is in the Master Division Photojournalism category, and it is Poor But Happy with an original score of 79.
That image has not come up for me.
Nope, me either.
Yeah, neither me. Me neither.
Actually, I got a score from John, but I pulled it back
Yeah,
up.
But I
Hopefully,
remember what the image was, so I just put it in. I'm
I
sorry.
think I remember, but I'd like to take another look if I could, pretty please.
did that come up now?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick to give it a kick. And
Oh,
There
there
it
it
is.
There
is.
we go. Thank you.
okay,
And that's why it stood out for me, because of what the technicalities that Nick pointed out. And I went, wow, he is absolutely right.
okay, and that remains the same. We are now going to take a 5-minute break. We will begin again. We are now in our regular division. In our regular division, the first category is the illustrative category, and our first image in the illustrative category is Put Out to Pasture. Put Out to Pasture. Score is 79. Jessica.
Yeah, I love the story that this one tells. I was at 79. A couple of things were holding me back, but before I go into those, I really love the story that this tells, and I love the rolling hills in the background. I love that we've got this beautiful cloud coming in off of these hills. It definitely looks like a scene that you could see in California or Colorado. All of those things are wonderful. The color palette is nice and soft. The color tones in the truck are still in the background and in the grass in the foreground. So all of those are wonderful things. The thing that kept me just kind of out of merit, and it might be really minor, this piece of fence, and I understand that it's part of the story that there's this fence out here as well, but this piece of fence on the left-hand side of the image that just kisses the edge of the image is so distracting. And once I saw that, I kind of just left the image entirely. So I think that could easily be removed, or I don't know if there's even the tiniest bit of room on that side to leave that in there, but not butted up against the very edge of the image. That might have gotten me right over the edge to that 80.
Kim, can I throw in something?
Go ahead, John.
Love this image to the maker. You can't go by without taking this photo. But something to consider is to pull back a little. This is a little more breathing space, so you get more of the on the left and the right would really help this. And I'm sure the maker might have done this, but you might want to experiment in turning this into a black and white. The first thing I looked at, and I said, man, I wonder what this would look like in a sharp, rich and toned black and white. So if you have not done that, experiment with that and see how that looks. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, one question. What category was this in?
This is an illustrative.
So I would comment that there's two little features. There's a little line in the sky about half on the left-hand side of the image, halfway between the hills and the top. That looks like a hair or something. It might be a piece of grass. And then there's a tiny, if you follow that line through to about a third in away into the image, there's a little dot in the sky. I would take those out because I think they're distracting from otherwise image. I totally agree with both Jessica and John's comments, though.
Okay. Continuing in the regular division illustrative category, we have Make a Wish. Make a Wish.
Mm.
And the score is 84. John.
I scored this an 83. Absolutely love it. Great title, great subject here. What a wonderful story. I love the sharpness on it. I love the lighting on this. What I would suggest to the maker is there's a lot of negative space on the right there. I look at this and I see it as a vertical image more than a squared image like this. For me, it just kind of screams vertical. So I'd eliminate a lot of that negative space on the right there and kind of center it as a vertical. And I think you'd have a great, great story. I love how these, I forget what they are called, those little items that are offshooting off of there. That's
Seeds.
what are they?
They're the seeds.
Oh, there's just
Yeah.
okay. I thought they had another name, but anyway,
I
those
made it.
to the right and the three up to the left, perfect. Those are just add to the story so well. Hats off to the maker. Again, I scored this an 83.
Thank you. Continuing, we are in the regular division. We are now in the, actually, let me go back before I forget. We do have one image for review in the illustrative category for regular division. It original score was a 79. Put out to pasture. If you want it to remain the same, please score 79. If you'd like to move it up to a merit score, an 80. And it stays the same. Now we're moving on to the landscape category in the regular division, and our first image in landscape is West Mitten. West Mitten. Score is 87. Nick.
I guess I'm at the bad guy. I'm at 85. I think this image is stunning. I really do. I think the composition is amazing. The time of day is good. We've got plenty of direction to the light. I like the choice of black and white. I think it definitely works well here. I think the color would probably be distracting. And no, I mean, there's really not much I can add to it. I think it's beautiful. I would love to see this hanging on a wall, printed really big.
Thank you. In the regular division landscape, we now have Redlands Umbrella Alley. Redlands Umbrella Alley.
Mhm.
Jessica. The score is an 83. Jessica, if you can comment.
Oh, absolutely. I was at an 85 actually. I feel like this is so much fun. The story behind this, the time of day that it was shot, if this was shot at any other time of day, if it was noon or it was even sunset, all of these umbrellas would look translucent, and we would lose all of this beautiful color tone that we have all the way through. I love the diagonal lines that these umbrellas make. And then I even love how all of these colors are mimicked in the bar stools on the image left. You don't see them initially. The more you look around the image, then the bar stools start to become really apparent. And I just think this is such a fun image and so well done. Perfect time of day.
Can I make a comment?
Go ahead, Nick.
Thanks. I agree with everything Jessica said, and I really wanted to score this high. I was a bad guy. I scored it at 79 for one reason, and that is that this is an architectural image, and the verticals should be straight. Straighten them up, and the rest of it is stunning. I really agree that, but just straighten the verticals. The walls are leaning out slightly, and it would be, as I say, really, really powerful.
Especially on the right. And the left side's
Yeah.
okay. The right side needs a little work.
Yep.
Okay, continuing in the landscape category, regular division, we have Desert Tower. Desert Tower.
That's my little thingy.
Score is an 82. John.
And that's exactly what I scored it in 82. Absolutely love this image. I love the composition, the way this sits off to the right and balanced by the clouds on the left like that. Perfect timing. The end of the day or the beginning of the day, I'm not sure which, it doesn't matter. But the lighting is just wonderful with those rich tones that are all over this image. It's just stunning. Something for just a minor little thing in the bottom right-hand corner along the landscape there, you can see a little white dot. I would just kind of remove that. Once you see that little white dot, you can't take your eyes from it there. So I would play around with that. But absolutely love this image. And like I said of the other one, not to compare, but just try this in a black and white. Just see what this would look like to you. It's a stunning image, and I'd just be curious what it would look like in a rich toned black and white. Again, hats off to the maker, 82.
Thank you. Continuing in regular division landscape category, we have Reflections. Reflections. Score is 83. Nick.
I'm at 87, and I'm going to challenge this up. I think this is exceptional. I love, first of all, the composition. I think the composition is extremely well done. I love the fact that they've given enough sky there to bring the horizon line down and then the reflection line to be well down into the lower third. You've still got the whole image, but you don't have anything excess at the bottom. I love the palette. It's almost but not quite monochrome, but it's got just that subtle hint of color, which is totally gives the feeling of the cold. Very, very good use of the full tonal contrast, the full zone system. And really, I can't see anything wrong with it. It's tack sharp, but without being over sharpened. I really think it's gorgeous. I'd love to hear with my fellow judges why they won't join me up at the exceptional category, 85 or above.
Okay, Jessica.
I, and it might just be preference, but I actually thought there was a bit too much sky. I was trying to envision it with maybe an eighth of the sky removed just a little bit at the top. But also now that I've listened to your comments, I think that that might actually make it too weighted towards the middle. So I'm still listening. I'd love to hear what John has to say too.
Jessica, I'm right there with you. I that's the first thing I thought. I said, a little too much sky up there. I would have brought it down maybe an inch or so, right to the cloud line there on the right, to kind of balance it out just a tad. I didn't mind about it being centered at that point. In fact, I think that gives a little strength to it. I would have also liked to seen, if possible, to bring just a little definition into that snow. I know it's technically hard to do, but it is doable, especially the snow that's on those roofs on those two homes in the front there. I just would have liked to see just a little more clarity and texture in that snow, and that would have just sent it through the roof.
So
Nick, rebuttal?
in rebuttal, I think that the extra sky gives it breathing room, and I think that if you, I agree with Jess's comment. If you bring it down, it's going to start to get a little bit cramped. And this is an image that needs a sense of space. It needs that sense of fresh air. The clouds, the detail in the clouds falls off just at the top, so you've got a little bit of that, just that little bit of extra headroom. Just gives it that room to breathe. In terms of the detail in the snow, it's absolutely there. I think if you bring it in anymore, it's going to start to look a little bit over processed. But I do agree, John, you could possibly bring a tad more. I was looking closely, and there really is detail in the snow everywhere. It's hard to do it without it starting to look over processed. And that's one of the beauties of this. This looks natural, and I can feel myself being there. I really think it's an amazing image.
Okay, judges, if you could.
I'm sorry, Nick, what are you going to rescore it as?
I'm going to rescore. I'm going to actually come up a point. I'm coming up to 88 because the more I see it, the more I love this image.
And the new score is 88.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Judges? Continuing along in our regular division landscape category, we have the stand below the falls. The stand below the falls. Score is 81. Jessica.
So I love how impactful this is in black and white. I was at a 79 and I might be the one bringing it down, and I would love to possibly talk about it. So for me, it feels too sharp. It feels very, very, very sharp. That's the main thing that's holding me back. And then the falls, they're perfectly placed. The placement of this and the cropping is exceptional, but the falls look very blown out to me. So we're losing a ton of detail in the water right here. And that's between the sharpness and in the water. That was really what was holding me back from being in the merit category.
So is that a challenge, Jessica?
I don't know if it's a challenge. I don't think it's
You have to make a
necessarily.
decision. Go for it.
No. Yes, it's a challenge.
So you're
Put it this way,
challenging,
if you won't, I will.
so you're challenging it down.
Yes.
Okay, so, John, your comments.
I absolutely love the sharpness to it. I don't think it's over sharp at all. I enjoy that texture there. It brings out the definition so well. There's no question of what's going on anywhere. I can look anywhere on this image and see how it is and love it. I totally agree though about the fall being blown out like that. That's why I scored it what I did, or else I would have gone much higher. But that waterfall is perfectly placed, but it is blown out. Oh, and I love the presentation as well. Love how that presentation is
Yeah.
beautifully.
Nick, comments?
So I'm with Jessica, and I actually originally scored an 81. And as soon as Jessica made her comments, I thought, you know what? I wish I'd scored a 79. Not because it's not an image, it is a great image, but because I think with a little bit of work, it could be spectacular. The falls, I really hope that in the original raw file that there's enough detail to get some detail back into the water there, because it will make it so much stronger. I have a sense, and I can't tell without looking in a lot more detail, that there may be a little bit of processing on the sky where it joins the trees. I can't tell whether that's been darkened down or not, but if it has, go back and just do it a little bit better. And I agree with Jessica. I think it's slightly it's either over sharpened, or it may be clarity or structural, one of those that's just a little bit too far towards 11. Pull it back just a tad to make it a little bit more convincing. But as an image, the placement, the composition, and I agree with John that the treatment, sorry, the finishing with the border is stunning. It's really, really well done. So it's hard to do, and I know, and I hate to have to do this, but Maker, if we can get it to 79, go rework it a little bit, and hopefully we'll see this up well into the 90s.
Okay, Jessica, any rebuttal?
No, I think that definitely sums it up perfectly. It's just that if there were some details in the falls and the tiny bit less of whatever, it could be clarity. Actually, now that Nick has mentioned it, it's probably clarity. It's just a little bit too much. It's a fantastic image, and so I didn't want to give it a 79, but also I do think that it could come up with a tiny bit of reworking.
Okay, judges, if you could rescore. And the new score is a 79. Real quick. Okay, judges, now if you could, in the Master Division Landscape category, we have one image for review, and it is the stand below the falls. If you'd like it to remain at 79, please vote 79. If you want it to come up to an 80, please vote 80. And it remains the same. Now we are moving into the regular division nature category. The first image in the nature category is all dressed up. All dressed up. Scores an 80. John.
I scored this an 83. I absolutely love this image. Love the title. I think it's a great title. I'm always weak with my titles, so when I see a great title, I just think, way to go, Maker. You've got great imagination there. This is the beautiful palette here. The purples, the yellows, everything is just so softly put in there, yet sharp enough. You can see the stems in the center there, nice and sharp. And I love the heavy vignetting around it, yet you can still see the clarity of the leaves itself. They stand out well to give it strong definition so that nothing is blurred out. It's nice and sharp all the way around, but a vignetting that's heavy enough to make it stand out. I'll just say to the maker, that stroke line, I understand the color with the purple, but it's a little too bright. Bring down the color and soften it, the stroke line. Keep the color, but just soften it and not so bold. And I think that would really make it work better as well.
Kim, can I make a comment, please?
Okay, quickly.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a strong image. There's a technical mistake in the top right-hand corner on the stroke. You've got a kink in your lines, which you really need to fix. Because again, once you've seen that, you can never unsee it. I agree with John. Make the stroke thinner. The color's a good choice, but it's just too heavy.
Okay. Next in the nature category, still in the regular division, we have taking off. Taking off.
Mm.
Score is 86. Nick.
Wow, I think I'm the bad guy, and I'm gonna. Well, no, it's already an 86, so it's okay. I don't need to challenge it. I was at 84. I think this is beautiful. I think the timing is perfect. It's tack sharp. The composition is just beautiful. I wish I'd taken it myself. I think possibly a very, very subtle vignette would have helped a teeny bit just to, bring even more impact on the eel. But I mean, it needs to be so subtle you can barely see it. Otherwise, it'll start to become obvious. But no, I think it's really very, very well done.
Thank you. Moving along in the regular division nature category, we have reflection of Yosemite Falls. Reflection of Yosemite Falls. Score is 82. Jessica.
So it has wonderful impact upon looking at it. I actually took a minute to score it. I'm sitting at an 81. I love the vibrant colors in this image. The longer I looked at it, though, it just feels a tad bit crooked almost.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was really holding me back on going a little bit higher. I would have loved to see some clouds in the sky, and I know you can't really make clouds appear in the sky. I do love that the blue tones are held throughout on the sky and then also in the reflection, but it just feels slightly crooked.
Kim, can I add something?
Yes.
I put a border around it, give it a little presentation. That would really help. And off to the middle and the on the left-hand side, right straight in the middle, that white rock there is a little too bright. If you just tone that down or take it out so that it's not so distracting there. So put a presentation and take care of that white blip there in the center left.
Sorry,
Okay.
Kim, I'm going to add a comment as well. I agree with Jessica. It is crooked. I just put a ruler against it. I would take the little blebs out in the water as well. There's a few little dots there that don't add anything to the image, and they're very quick fixes. But I do think it's gorgeous. Straighten it up, and the other fixes, and you've got something that's a stunner.
Okay. Continuing in nature, same regular division, we have balance beam. Balance beam. Score is 83. John, if you can comment.
Okay. I scored this a 78. I love the rich tone colors of this image here. I think it's wonderful. I love the way it's those they really pop. But what held me back from meriting this was several things. That's that limb or whatever it is on the backside protruding out of the rear end of that bear there really is distracting to me, and rather humorous, if you will. It just looks so off-putting there. So the angle on this was really throwing me off, and the border around it, this green is rather unbecoming. I think. I think if you went with a dark brown or black, that would encase it better. So that those things to keep in mind.
Okay, moving along in the regular division. The last image in our nature category is Osprey at Bolsa Chica with takeout. Osprey at Bolsa Chica with takeout. Score is 76. Nick.
So I'm the bad guy on this. I was at 73. I really want to love this image. I think the timing is great and the story that the title is perfect. Unfortunately, it's just not sharp. If I had to guess, it was cropped in very heavily from a much broader image. And unfortunately, there's just not the detail there in the bird. If you can get that with a longer lens, so you can get it, that on pretty much full resolution, it would be breathtaking. As it is, unfortunately, it barely makes competition standard. But I think it has enormous potential. So definitely go back and try again, but just use a longer lens or get closer or whatever. But timing was perfect.
Thank you. Continuing, we are now moving into the regular division photographic artist category. And we have decisions, 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 decisions.
Sorry, Kim, what was the category again?
This is the photographic artist category.
Thank you.
Score is 82. Jessica.
I love the story on this one. Storytelling is a huge one for me, and this one has a ton of impact initially. It has a ton of storytelling going on. Even the little details that lead the lines of what appear to possibly be apartment buildings across the street. I do like the treatment. I think the treatment on the sidewalk for me is a bit heavy. It's less soft than the rest of it. It definitely has more sharpness and more texture in it than the rest of the treatment does. So that was holding me back a little bit. I was actually at an 81. But I absolutely love everything that we have going on here with the story and the impact.
Thank you. We are now moving into the regular division photojournalism category. And our first image is Rainy Day Safari. Rainy Day Safari. And the score is 82. John.
Thank you. I scored this in 81. I think this is a great storytelling going on here. You have the lions, cubs in the foreground there, which draws your attention in, and yet you see the cabin in the back there, the truck in the back there, and that being the safari as well. And first thought is, gee, why aren't you in there? But you're probably in another truck shooting that way. But it's telling the story of the truck across the way looking at this, which is a great story. You have the leading lines coming in off to the left where the truck can follow around these cubs and everything. So I really like that curve there with the lines coming in. A lovely little story. I think it tells the story well, very well done. That's why I scored it in 81.
Thank you. Continuing in the regular division photojournalism category, we have 1940 Stearman at Edwards AFB or Air Force Base. 1940 Stearman at Edwards Air Force Base. Score is 79. Nick.
I'm at 80, and I think that this is very well done. I love the timing with catching that beautiful curve. I think the framing is beautiful. The position of the aircraft is great. The only thing that held me back from going higher is that the aircraft is a little dark, and I'd like to have seen that a bit brighter. I'm not sure how much detail's in there. There seems to be enough detail that it would hold up with being just, if you just lift the as I lift the shadows on the aircraft to get a bit more detail in there. But I really think it's good, and I do think this is deserving of a merit.
Kim, can I throw in something for the
Okay,
maker?
we have
Sure.
179 in the photojournalism category.
Sorry, Kim.
Review. So the image for review,
Kim.
if you can rescore, is the 1940 Stearman at Edwards Air Force Base.
We'll do it that way.
79 if you want it to stay the same, 80 if you'd like to raise it to a merit. And it stays the same.
Hmm.
We are now moving into the regular division portrait category, and we have Marianne. Marianne. Score is 81. Jessica.
Yeah, I love this as a senior photographer. This is fantastic. So the things that I love about this is we've got this really cool vertical crop, which I am a
Jessica,
huge.
if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can
Actually,
hear.
Kim, we can hear you. I think it may be you.
Yeah, I can hear her too.
Can anybody? I mean, I can.
Jessica.
Kim, I don't think you can hear anyone.
Kim can't hear anybody.
Can someone chat to Kim and let her know?
Jessica, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Nick, I think that's why when I was going to make the comment,
Exactly.
she didn't hear me.
I can't type.
I am typing. I got it.
Okay, I got it.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Can you hear us, Kim? I mean, yeah,
Kim can't hear us.
still can't. Okay.
Can you hear us now, Kim? Verizon, Verizon, Verizon.
Can you hear me now?
He's now with, is he still with Sprint? I know he moved to Sprint.
I think so. You're right. That was several years ago.
Yeah, exactly. It was funny when he says, now I'm with a different phone company, but I can still hear you. Both to Kim. Has Florida dropped off the interweb?
Yeah, I just thought if we just keep talking like this,
Yeah, exactly. Then she'll hear us.
up and go, there you
Yeah.
guys. So
All right, we got her back in the room now. Hopefully we can.
okay.
But I agree with Jessica's comments on this. I think this is very well done.
Yeah, she had to log out and log back in.
Got
Okay.
it.
Okay, I have sound again.
Do you hear us?
Yeah, I can now.
You can hear us.
The things we were saying about you, Kim.
I know, it's okay. I've probably heard worse and it's probably all true, so. Okay, so that
Okay.
score was an 81, and I'm assuming that Jessica made some comments when I couldn't. hear.
I made
Mhm.
most of them. The thing that I really do love that I didn't actually get to say is I love the vertical crop, and then I also love that the little paint splatter in the background actually matches the little dots that this girl has on her uniform. So I think it works really, really well together.
Okay, thank
I
you.
didn't notice that. I like that.
Those tiny details.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Okay. We are now moving into the regular division in the wedding category. It's our final category for tonight, by the way. And our first image is Unity in Gold. Unity in Gold.
Hmm.
Score is 81. John.
I scored this a 78. To the maker, I love what you were trying to do here. But there's a thing called center of interest, and it was like, okay, where are we going? And then, oh, okay, there's the jewels up there. I see them now. But there was so much distraction going on around it. It kind of gets lost inside the flowers there and the bouquet around it. Great concept, but I don't think with this particular set of flowers, it quite works the way it could work to stand out just a tad more. It can, because of the white of the diamonds and the white of the petals on the flower it's resting on, and all the white around it with the others, it just kind of gets lost a little more. Try it with a different set of flowers, different colors, and it might stand out a little better, and I think would work a little better next time.
Okay, what was the score?
Score was an 81.
Okay, thanks. It did merit good.
Yes.
Moving right along in the regular division wedding category, we have Love's Eternal Circle. Love's Eternal Circle. Score is an 81. Nick.
So I'm the bad guy on the blog here. I'm at 77, and I love the concept. I think it's a nicely laid out set, and I've taken this same or very similar image at weddings. It's cool. The challenge with this is that it is either I think it was probably out of focus and you tried to pull it into focus, but it's hugely over processed. So it comes out almost as being sort of cartoonesque. If you look at the details in the stone on the engagement ring, the reflections on the wife's on you know the bride's wedding ring, And even in fact, to be honest, on the front of the groom's ring. So I think with this image, this is one which, I mean, it's tough to do at a wedding, but I would recommend focus stacking. I would recommend using a tripod and making sure you get the focus absolutely right, because it's so critical. But in terms of lighting and layout, I think it's beautiful. Just, technical details, it falls apart, unfortunately. So I'm at 77.
Thank you. And our final image in the wedding category, so our final image for the night is Love's Lasting Legacy. Love's Lasting Legacy.
Yeah.
The score is 81. Jessica.
Yeah, I love this one. I'm a sucker for a good ring shot at a wedding. When I shot weddings, it was actually one of my favorite parts. That's how I knew I shouldn't shoot weddings anymore if the ring is my favorite part. But I actually I love the focal point in this one. I think it brings it together really, really well. I think I would have loved to have seen in this negative space up at the top right another flower. I think the frame could have been filled on that side just a little bit more. I love this deep fuchsia colored rose in the center, which actually keeps me coming right back up to the ring, which is still the brightest part of the image. So this one I was at an 81, and I think it's definitely deserving of a merit.
Thank you. That concludes our images for the evening. We do have one tiebreaker that the judges will need to deal with before we get to our best of show awards. So give me just a minute to gather the tiebreaker. It's actually a three-way tie.
Kim, do you want me to stop sharing so you can take over the screen?
As soon as I get there, I think I can just snatch it from you.
Okay.
I didn't bring up what I wanted it to bring up. Hold on. Okay, judges, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Let me just move you to the other screen so I can. Oops, where are you going?
Yep. No, I'm just getting the one photo.
I've got 3.
You got 3?
It's on. Are you on Zoom, John?
No. Okay. Should I go?
Yeah,
over-
you have
Yeah,
to be on
go to
Zoom
Zoom.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you'll have to be on Zoom for the rest. We're done with print competition.
Oh, so I can get out of print competition?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, there, I'm on Zoom. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So
the-
these three tied in the wedding category in the regular division.
So we have to
So
pick a
of
winner.
these three, you have to pick the best of category from these three images.
So I'm going to do contentious. I'm going to go for the one on the left. I think that was
Yeah,
by far and away the strongest.
You think I'm looking at the one on the right.
I'm also with the one on the right.
I guess I'm outvoted.
Hey,
That's okay.
just real quick, Kim, I'm not getting the photo on my screen for some reason, so we want to make sure we have this available to our
On Zoom?
yeah, I'm on Zoom, but I have
Are you on the one that shows the window that shows everyone, or the window that shows the shared image?
maybe that's my problem. Let me
Yeah,
try
the
it.
new version of Zoom has 2 different windows. You should see 2 different tabs.
Now I got it.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay, so you guys are going with 2-1. You have the one on the right.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a moment. I'm stopping sharing for just a minute while I do some more magic behind the screen here, behind the scenes here for a second.
Take my contrast down and put some more light in. There we go.
Okay, give me just a second here. Take care
Not
of
enough
this.
lighting to do enough for me, Nick.
Sorry, John?
No amount of lighting will improve this.
Oh, I resemble that remote, trust me. But I turned the one off that's right beside my screen because it's a little distracting for looking at the screen.
Got a haircut today and I asked for a trim and you can see how they butchered it. So
Uh-oh. So I'll go back to high contrast. There we go. Moody, let's get a bit of short light going. Now it's boring. Ow.
Okay. Okay, you should now see 6 images up. These are the images from the best of category images in the master division. Of these, you need to select your favorite as the best of show. So you can either pick one and say that's it, or you can start eliminating down till we have the one that you would like for best of show for the master division.
I'm going to suggest we eliminate lower left.
Okay, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
agree.
with that?
Yep.
And upper right.
Right, yes.
Yep.
And
Those
lower
four.
left. Lower left again.
Yes, lower left.
Okay,
Okay.
you need to have more than one person.
Left.
Yeah, left.
Left.
Oh, are you talking
Yep.
about eliminating or
Yes, eliminating left.
Oh, no. I think that's that
Here we
thing.
go.
So I misunderstood you. I thought he was, I think that to me is just breathtaking.
It is, but I'm looking at the other.
And they're all three of them really strong, but
Exactly.
This is difficult. I don't even like frogs, but that one, that frog is like a portrait of a frog.
he's
So
pretty
beautiful.
cool, isn't he? Yeah.
Between you and me, it's
cool.
the center, the frog or the gentleman on the right. Those are my 2 favorites. So
I'm the plains or the frog.
I'm with John on the frog or the portrait.
Sounds like we
Okay,
all agree on the
so
frog.
I think we kind of love this frog.
Yeah. I think it's the
frog
frog.
are-
He's so cute, and I
Isn't
really,
it just? Yeah.
yeah,
so we can get
I have
rid
like
of
a
the
phobia of frogs, and it's curing my phobia of frogs right now.
I think we declare the frog. I vote that we declare the frog the winner.
Well, let's talk a little more. Let's get rid of the planes first.
I love the plains.
Yeah, I do too.
I know, but Nick, you were the only one
but-
that was the plain lover.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
know.
good.
I love the planes too, but I think these
Yeah.
are it.
I mean, as I say, I go back to my comments on the guy on the right. It's the palette doesn't do the image justice. It needs more impact. You print that and it's going to come out gray. I remember I'm a photographic printer, so I always think what it's going to be like on print, and on paper it's going to lose all the impact because it doesn't have the brights, it doesn't have the darks. It needs, if you give it some more contrast, it would be stunning. But at the moment, as I say, it'll come out as being tame, and I think it does the character and the story a disservice. Personally, it's very well executed, but I think it just put it onto paper and it's just going to be gray.
Jessica, what are your feelings?
Man, I'm having a hard time with this one. Yeah, I mean, the longer I look at the portrait of this man, which I absolutely love. I love everything about this story. I am feeling like even in the center of his, like the center of the image, so his face and then down into his chest should definitely have more contrast in it. That and then the very dark matte, even though nothing is a true black in here, is kind of pulling for me. But man, is it an impactful image. I'm now tending to side with Nick on this one.
Although you have this great fear of frogs, okay.
The phobia, you guys.
Oh.
Phobia.
Oh, really? Yeah.
It's a yeah.
All right.
Really.
I think it's 2-1 because I love the frog, beautiful, got it. If it wins, I'm happy for the maker, but my heart is with the image on the right.
Really.
I think I'm gonna vote frog.
Really.
Yeah.
Good choice. It's the best image of a frog I've ever seen. It's just stunning. It's
That
up
that
up
was
there
so
with that
hard.
green tree frog that everyone puts on National Geographic. It's that good.
To the maker of the man for angst there, I love your image. Just I love your image. So
Okay, so I think we're 2-1 for the frog.
2-1
Yep.
for the frog. Yep.
I will
That
bow
was a
to
rough one.
my colleagues.
Listen, I mean, it's a good problem to have when you've got 3 images that strong at the finish
Oh
line.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice problem. It really is.
Absolutely.
Even with the fighter jets as well.
Yeah, the fighter jets. I mean, that was just incredibly well executed.
Okay, give me a minute to pull up the next images. Okay, you should see multiple images. These are the regular division images, and you need to pick best of show out of these. So again, you can start eliminating or pick your
Okay.
favorite. You want to
John,
do.
you're right. Sipsile. I completely forgot about that one.
What now?
Sipsile. Sipsile, the name of the bits of dandelion.
Figure out the name.
So that's your favorite, you're saying?
No, I'm saying that. I was just saying you're right about the name of them. They're called CYPSELAAE. Sipsile. Favorite?
I got a favorite.
You
If
can
you
either
wanna-
favorite or you can start
All right.
eliminating.
I'm going to go for the favorites, the snow.
Mine
I
is,
have 2 favorites.
yeah, my favorite is the eagle or the dandelion.
My favorites are the eagle and the snow.
So let's get rid of everything else. I'm definitely up with that. They're all strong, but I think we get rid of all the others.
I also love the dandelion,
Yeah.
Yep, me too.
Those
especially
three
now
are-
that we're seeing them, these 3 together. Okay.
Yeah.
Either the eagle or the dandelion. I'd go with the eagle.
I'm leaning very hard towards that eagle right now too, actually.
I can go with, I mean, listen, they're all 3 great images. I can definitely go with the eagle. I think the timing's perfect and it's really, really well done.
Oh, spectacular.
Yeah. I mean, I love that snow image. I think it's breathtaking, but the eagle's also very strong. So I'm good with that.
Okay.
So the eagle it is.
Yeah.
He is
But congratulations to all 3 makers. They're really,
Oh,
really strong
absolutely.
images.
absolutely.
Okay, so let's give me a minute to pull some things up here. Sorry, I'm not the fastest in the world at getting in and out of screen shares and all of that.
That's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Kim, you do great work.
Okay, so I have that, but now I have to pull this up so I can read the names because I don't know the names of all of them. So in the master division, we have, actually, can I do this one at a time? Hold on, let's see if I can do this one at a time. Oh, I can't do that. You guys are probably seeing all this all over the place.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, well, we're not going to see it exactly as full screen right now because I
You
can't.
showed it full screen just now, but then you can't see the name.
Yes, but then I can't see the names of all of
Right.
them.
Fine.
And I need to be able to check the names because I don't have them all memorized. And usually I'll print them out, but I'm in Florida and I don't have a printer where I'm at,
I
so
understand.
can't do that today. So the first winner is in the Master Division Illustrative category. So now you think you're Maverick. Bruce Benet, congratulations.
Yeah, well done, Bruce.
Congratulations, Bruce, yay.
Done, Bruce.
In
Well
the
done, Bruce.
Master Division Nature category, we have The Better to See You With. Congratulations, Brad Toms, which
Brad
is
is
also
awesome.
our best
Oh,
of
if we knew it was Brad, can we re-vote now?
show.
I don't know Brad, so I'm not biased.
In Master Division Photographic Artist, we have Jerry Stevenson with Condo
Jerry
Warrior.
Kondo. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jerry Stevenson with Condo Warrior. What do we?
Love
we
that.
go?
That was
Sorry.
exciting.
Yeah.
Well done, Jerry.
So congratulations, Jerry.
Thank you.
In our
Jerry, where was that photograph?
Where was the photograph taken?
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
The warrior was taken in my studio,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and the lion was taken in Mexico in a little zoo.
How about that?
And there was a fence in front of it. I had to take all of it out.
and
Yeah.
actually, I am sorry, this is not a best of category image. Actually, which one is not? The warrior is. I'm sorry, it's the Calgary. The next one that I have up is not. So I'll skip the next one. So this is the correct category winner for photographic artist in the Master Division.
Okay.
This one we had up, which was actually not. It had a lower score than the Condo Warrior. So we're now going to the best of category for photojournalism, and we have Peter Levshin with Ready for Action.
Nice.
And then we have in our Master Division, we have Portrait, we have Jerry Stephen with Angst.
Ah,
I love that one.
well done, Jerry.
Congratulations.
Well,
Mhm.
you know where my heart was.
It's funny, Jerry was a little concerned with the name of that image. And I
Angst?
said, no, the judges will understand. And I think it's a very good name for
Oh,
that image.
Oh, no,
title's-
the name is perfect. Just
Yeah.
I really, really like that name.
Yeah.
If you both love the image, you can always change your mind.
more
I
contrast.
wouldn't mind at all.
In the regular division, in the illustrative category, I think that's make sure I'm in the right category. In illustrative, we have Make a Wish by Annette Gregory.
Wonderful.
Nice.
Congratulations, Annette.
Is she online?
She is not.
I
Okay.
didn't
Yeah,
see
I
it.
don't think she's traveling right now. She's back east somewhere. She's searching for fall color.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's on like a 30-day or so road trip. She's got it all mapped out and I'm sure she's having a wonderful time. She did have a little accident and hit a deer with her car. A deer jumped out,
Oh,
damaged
Oh.
the front of her car, but it was still drivable. So I think her trip is still going as planned. She'll just have a little repair work to get done when she gets back. But she's okay, which is the important part.
That's the important thing. I can refer her to a great body shop if she needs one.
Okay. And continuing in the landscape category, we have Reflections, Kim
Love
Shapiro.
that. Where is that, Kim?
It's in Norway.
It's beautiful.
That's
Mhm.
Norway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very lovely.
And then in the nature division,
Ah,
in
Love
the
that.
nature category, in the regular
Also Norway?
division, we have Taking Off. No, that's in Alaska, and the winner is
Nice.
Kim Shapiro.
well done, Kim.
Well done, Kim.
That's also
Yeah.
the best of show for tonight for
Yeah.
regular division.
congratulations.
Very good.
Thank you. And then in the photojournalism category or photographic artist category, we have Decisions by Christine McElhaney.
I love that.
Nice job,
Mhm.
Christian.
Yeah, well done.
In photojournalism, we have Rainy Day Safari, Kim Shapiro.
Nice.
Kim, there you go.
And
I
in
think
the
you were in another
portrait-
vehicle. You were in another vehicle on the other side, Kim.
No, I was riding a lion on the, no.
That
I
I
was
want to
riding the
see.
dad lion across the grasslands. No, yeah, I was in a different vehicle.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
And in the portrait category for regular division, we have Marianne by Megan Plock.
Well done, Megan. Solid.
Mhm.
And in the wedding category, we have Love's Lasting Legacy by Megan Plock.
Nice.
Well
So
done.
congratulations to all of our winners. And thank you so much to all of our judges. We appreciate all of your time and your comments. And that helps our judges to get better at what, I'm not our judges, it helps our makers get better at what they do. Sometimes they get it's a little hurtful when you get that challenge to 79, but realize that is so that you can make corrections or changes to the image, make it better and re-enter it, and then bring that score up to make it worth the effort that you put into the image. So might be a little painful when you first get it, but take those comments into consideration, work the images, and by all means re-enter them so that you can hopefully get a nice higher score on it.
And then more to the point, take them on to the advanced competitions, because I think some of those images are up there with that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No question about it.
All right. Well, does anybody have any comments? We do have a couple minutes if any of our judges, if any of our viewers want to ask any questions of our judges, feel free. If not, we can call it a night.
I just want to say, from a snowy land of Colorado, sometimes there is no visible detail.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I hear that comment so often, and sometimes it's so infuriating because I see snow half of the year, and sometimes, especially when it's fresh, there's legitimately no detail to the eye at all. So it's not always there. That's
Yeah,
it.
and
That's
there
my
were a
rant
couple
for the
little
night.
there were a couple
Yeah.
little tracks in there, and I considered taking them out, and I'm like, no, I need to
No,
leave
they
them
were
because
there.
they're there,
Yeah.
and it shows that it's really snow, not
Yeah.
just plastic.
Jessica, for the record, when I was told that there is some definition there, I did look closer afterwards. I blew
Yes.
it up. You don't blow it up while you're judging because that's
Right.
not allowed. But I did blow it up and looked at that roof, and I did see definition in there.
Yeah.
Just for the record.
Yeah, I could see the soft little bits of just definition in there, and I always, every time I'm judging, I'm like, there is sometimes no definition in the snow. Sometimes it's a blank slate, and that's what it actually looks like.
I bow to you because I'm living in sunny Southern California.
I lived in New Jersey for long enough to see snow, so I'll second what Jessica says. There are times when there's just nothing, but there was definition in that detail. Also, I calibrated my screen 5 minutes before the competition, so
Yes,
I
I
guess
did.
it's probably not going to have wandered much by then, and it's a wide gamut monitor.
All right. Well, thank you, judges, again. We
Great
really
work by the
appreciate
makers.
all of your comments. It really helps us get better at what we do. So we really appreciate your taking the time to help us out.
It
Thank
was
you
a
all so
lot of
much.
fun.